Cheating boyfriend buys other woman a car with my money. I was living with my then boyfriend, and we had been together for a year. One day while he was at work, we had been arguing pretty much all day over the phone, and he never came home that night. The next morning, his friend's girlfriend, Polly, came over and told me he had stayed at their house. She and her boyfriend got in an argument, and she wanted me to go with her to their house to get her things, so I went along. I didn't go inside, but my boyfriend knew I was there and got pissed because he thought I was there to spy on him and broke up with me over text. Polly helped me get my things out of his house, and she told me that he had been cheating on me for a while, but she couldn't say anything because her boyfriend would get mad at her. She also told me that all of my income tax money that I loaned him for his diesel bill, he was a truck driver, went to the girl he cheated on me with to get her a new car. He also helped get her a job with the company he was working for, and then he told everyone that I was the one who cheated on him. Story 2. Husband is bi and has been cheating on me with trans women. So my husband came out to me about a year ago, and I was totally supportive of him being bi. For some reason, he self-sabotages a lot and didn't believe me when I said I was supportive. I never did anything to make him feel like I didn't support him, and he expressed that as well. Fast forward now, I find out he's been on Reddit and Twitter talking to trans women and did meet up with a person and said he only got a BJ. But I found condoms in his truck, and when I confronted him, he said he used them for the BJ. I'm having a hard time believing him, and he's still sneaking around purchases OnlyFans videos of trans women. He's had this secretive life online for 8 months now. Story 3. Boyfriend of 7 years cheated. I feel so small and weak. I'm a 26-year-old female. Boyfriend is a 27-year-old male. We just celebrated our 7-year anniversary on June 1st, about 2 years into our relationship. We broke up for a month and then got back together. He said he hadn't slept with anyone while we were broken up, even though I volunteered to tell him. I slept with my ex. I made it clear I didn't care if he did because we were broken up. But I wanted to know, since he and I usually didn't use condoms. Our second or third day of being back together, I wake up to a message from a girl that he knew I already had bad blood with, telling me she thinks she's pregnant and it'd be his baby. He was sleeping next to me when I got the message. I still vividly remember the adrenaline and emotions that ran through my body that day. I felt paralyzed, my whole body buzzing, just staring at him asleep in my bed. One immediately went and got tested that day. It was one of the lowest points in my life. He begged and pleaded for me to stay with him, and as stupid as it was, I loved him and couldn't stand the thought of her having him. So I tried to stick it out. A few days later, I got a call that I had chlamydia. He gave it to me from her. He was the only man I've ever slept with without a condom. I felt so disgusting and horrible about myself. I had so much resentment toward him and already hated her and just couldn't do it. So I broke up with him. I was trying to heal and go out on the weekends with my friends. But usually he would be out trying to fight any man that he saw talking to me. Despite having someone else pregnant with his child, it was so unfair. Long story short, about a month after that, she miscarried, which I wouldn't wish on anyone. We eventually got back together. It took a long time to build trust back and get back to a healthy place. But once we overcame that, it felt like we could overcome anything together. The last few years have been pretty great. We got our own place. I became a registered nurse. He got a good job. We rarely fight. We travel a lot, and communication is good. We've had a few fights over me catching him flirting through Messenger, but really nothing serious that we couldn't work through. Last night he got drunk with some friends, and we went on a late-night bell run. He sat down on the couch when we got back and said he was feeling nauseous and that he would be up to the bedroom with me in a minute. I was sitting in bed eating my food when I realized it had been some time, and he still hadn't come upstairs, so I yelled for him but didn't get a response. I went downstairs to get him, and he was dead asleep with his phone open in his hand. He had consumed entirely too much alcohol. Literally, he had just sent a message to someone, then passed out sitting up on the couch. I took his phone and saw the message said, "Babe." I started to go through them and immediately began shaking, and feeling like I was going to pass out. I called my best friend and drove to her house with his phone. We went through the messages together. They only went back to Friday because he had deleted them, but I mean full-blown cheating. Telling her he loves her, misses her, wants to have sex with her. Is sad he has to delete her messages and photos absolutely shattered my heart. We did a reverse number search, and lo and behold it was the girl from 5 years ago that he had gotten pregnant during a hookup. I have never been unfaithful the entire relationship. He knew how much that whole situation damaged me 5 years ago, the toll it took me. Then for him to resurface, that was zero consideration for me. I'm lost, I'm angry, I'm resentful, I'm hurt. I don't even know who I am without him anymore or where to start. I don't know how to walk away in an instant from something that took 7 years to build, but I know I have to. How could he even consider jeopardizing our friendship and relationship like that? I pray I find the strength to get through this. Story 4. My ex cheated on me with over 10 guys and I was blind to it. So me, D19 male met a girl, T18 female, at a club one night. We hit it off and went back to her house with my friend, C18 male and her friend, Z17 female. I ended up doing the dirty with T and we decided we would start talking. It didn't take long to go on our first few dates and decide we wanted to be only talking to each other. At least that's what I thought. Things went downhill incredibly fast from here. She started hanging out with guy friends all the time, staying at their houses, and sleeping in their beds all the time while lying to me most of the time about it. And the few times I figured it out, I would get gaslighted into thinking I was just insecure and overthinking it. Her best friend ended up telling me, E16 female, that she was actually cheating on me with the guys. She told me we were like her brothers. So, as you expect, I ended it right there, at least for the moment I did. As soon as she found out I knew, in came the gaslighting, begging and manipulating into making me believe her friend was lying. There wasn't much concrete evidence from her friend, so after a while I actually believed T. That everything was in my head. She opened up to me about her problems and genuinely made me think that she cared. She promised that she would change and actually listen to me. We then had a great month or so, and she did seem to change. But then she started hanging out with and 20 male every single night and staying at his house every single night and wouldn't put an effort to see me, who she was dating, Z. Ended up being caught cheating on my friend, C, and it started affecting our relationship. But little did I know that the whole time T had been doing the dirty with every guy she could. We found video proof of it, and even to this day T keeps saying she never cheated and she was faithful towards me even after threatening to come to my house and stab me with N. You'd think the story would be over when I figured out she was cheating on me every day, but she didn't give up trying to ruin my life by getting family, friends, and anyone to private call me or threaten me for dumping her. We then found out that she had a boyfriend of 3 years who actually knew about me and didn't stop her from doing all these things with guys. So I then went on my whole spree, 'cause I'm quite a good-looking guy and I haven't heard from T since, but I'm sure one day I'll run into it again and it'll be my turn to f with her feelings.